the upgrade on the storage units, was it government buildings, Randy?
Not a lot to report, just that Chad worked with Waterbury there to get, for sure, one of the HVAC units up to date. I haven't really talked to Chad, but I did see it must have all gotten done because the bill came through,
Yes.
so.
If you notice, that's a brand new thermostat on that one, so it's this, there's 3 HVACs. So it's the unit that takes care of this and was the first one to be replaced. Finance report, anything?
I don't have anything. I think Tobias is still working on the year-end.
Tobias?
It's been a little bit off. There's been a little other things going on, so, yeah.
I know Tobias is working on finishing his work. Every time I come in here, he's busy. I want you to know he stayed here most of Friday all day today, and he does that a lot. And Friday and today were holidays off, and Ginny's the same way. But anyway, we've got a hard worker over here and sitting back there. So thank both of you. Utility report.
Couple things before I ask Toby to jump in on. We're exploring the possibility of getting radio reads for natural gas. We already have about over 100 radio reads for water. We're exploring and maybe doing it in sections, divide up the gas system in 3s, and see if we can do it that way. The initial costs from Grumner, which would be using Census, their system, because we have Census gas meters, would roughly run just under 200,000. That would be for almost 876 meters. We've got 879. Obviously, they're not the only one that has a radio read program, and we would probably have to put something like this up for bid and see who gives us the best deal. Well, we have to do it that way. But anyways, just want to let you know we have started some conversation with, first of all, with Grumner, because the radio read system they have fits our meters. And we would keep our meters. We would just slip something by the index or that plastic part that displays your numbers. It would be something that would slip in there, and it would become radio read.
Can you explain how you would drive?
Well, there's 3 ways you can do it. The most expensive way would be putting something on the water tower. They say it goes 20 miles, but they can't guarantee it. I would shy away from something that says they can't guarantee it when we're investing that kind of money. That is well over $300,000. Then there was another option that I kind of liked. That would be, have to put antenna on the vehicle. You carry a laptop, you load it, all the meter reads show up on a map. And as you're driving slowly around, the meter reads, as they capture the meter read disappears from the map and downloads onto a system. Anyways, you know immediately if you've missed a meter read because that number will still show on the map. At that point, you bring the laptop in, you connect it to Tobias's laptop or desktop, and it transfers all those numbers. I like that idea. That way you know you don't miss anything. And it is cheaper than putting something up on a tower that may or may not work. The least expensive way is the way we do water now, which we can upgrade that, is just you capture the reads on your tablet or on your cell phone, and you transfer them manually over to paper. Even doing that, it saves time, but there's still, you can misread. The serial numbers, you're going by serial numbers, you could transpose numbers, But like I said, I like the second way with showing all the serial numbers on a map, and as you drive, they disappear off that map. But this is just what Census has to offer. We still will be exploring what other systems have to offer down the line. But I just want to let you guys know we are in conversation on doing that. What else I have in utility is we were in a discussion today the mayor and Jana and some folks from the city of Garrettson, the city of Humboldt, excuse me, Northern Natural Gas, as far as the possibility of splitting up that TBS and creating a tab that's just for Crooks Garrettson, and then Humboldt would have their own. I don't know, it would be creating another tap, so to speak, in that line, but it'd be another set of meters that we would no longer be connected in any way to the city of Humboldt. We are, by virtue of the fact that we share the same 3 and 4 inch steel line with Garrettson, so we'll always be connected to Garrettson. But this would separate us, Crooks Garrettson on one line, Humboldt on another. We're exploring prices on that. Right now, it looks like it's around a $500,000 project, which would be shared amongst the 3 communities, but we need more hard numbers and more information to move forward with that, which will keep council apprised of. It was suggested that we get an engineer to help figure out some of this too, and we've already used a natural gas engineer out of USDI. So I'm going to contact him. It's got to be a special engineer that handles natural gas piping and so forth. So hopefully we'll get that, and hopefully we'll get our capacity back. It sounds like verbally I was told we will, but until we see it in writing, we won't know. So Toby, did you have something to add on the letter and the true-up part of it?
Well, the true up, yeah.
Well, go ahead.
Last year when the city decided to purchase capacity was only, the estimate was up 50%. The bill has come due for the true up, which is $34,000 for the contract, and we need a motion. So I can tell them that they can go ahead and invoice us.
Is that what we,
So the capacity purchased last year was this discussion, right?
Right.
And the city decided to go with a 5-year contract. The estimate they have provided for the construction, in aid of construction was within a plus minus 15% margin. Unsurprisingly, construction costs went up. So she talked to Butch and I in February about this true up that will have to be satisfied because it's something we agreed to. So it's either that or we can switch horses and try to shore up $400,000 to do the other plan, but that is not advisable. So it's just the true up, and we just need a motion. So I give her a call tomorrow and say, please send the invoice. And there's not much we can do. And I'm not trying to sound like a Debbie Downer. It's just is what it is.
It's just the tail end of the 550 decatherms we added, and this is the final cost of it. So is there a motion to,
So moved. Second.
any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. I just want to add, on the census meter readings, I was sitting there listening as the guy was talking, but that style does match right up to our existing meters. What I was looking at originally was let's do something over 3 years. Let's start where it's taken the most time and work our way back. So we're using up a lot of time, but everything is written or hand transferred. So there are mistakes. And again, I still relate it to the sign and our website. At some point, we got to upgrade the gas. And then with the town border station, the TBS, at some point when we need to get more capacity as we get more customers, when the additional 550 isn't enough, there isn't enough room on that TBS station that's there, because Garrettson will be asking for more and Humboldt will. So at some point in the future, we will have to do this, and it's going to be, whether it's now or later, a cost share, us and Garrettson and Humboldt on their own. But anyway, just something looking at what do we need with the gas company, what's gonna happen? And, so you're prepared for it.
A question on the extra, capacity that we have in gas. Any report on how we've been doing selling our extra capacity?
Not well so far. We haven't gotten any receipts from Bill or from Clayton Energy. Probably are a little late in the game for that.
And if I could add, that's because it's been a mild winter.
Sure.
Bill and I have talked back and forth, and he's trying, he said, it was a mild winter compared to others, and it's kind of hard to sell extra stuff when nobody's in need of it because it was a mild winter.
I think you'll see the improvement starting next season with Bill on board to help buy and then help resell. He kind of got in right at the last 2 months here. So I think we really made a big, good decision on doing that, hiring Clayton Energy. Okay, code enforcement.
Okay, got a written complaint about someone who's been on here before, 100 Southwest Avenue. Written complaint from one of the neighbors. Couch on the front porch that was ripped. There is a stove in the backyard, amongst some other things that were listed in this person's letter that they could see from their property, but I couldn't see from the road. Sent this household a letter on April 1st. I see one thing has been removed. The homeowner did come in and wanted to know if, when we had the cleanup, if some of that, if the appliance could be taken away with the cleanup. And they were told that, well, for one thing, we're not sure if the cleanup is just going to be for yard waste or if it was going to include, like it was, I think, last year, where you could put appliances out there. Meanwhile, the appliance is still sitting there. So I see one thing has been moved of the list of things that were in the letter. What we've done in the past is I usually write, it used to be I write letter after letter after letter. They have a week to come to compliance. And some individuals, this goes on for months and nothing's moved. So I think in the past what we've done is I write 3 letters. Of course, that takes a period of time. After 3, if there's no improvement, we move to abate. So, and this property has been abated twice before. So I think we'll just kind of have to wait and see, to see if we've seen any improvements. Write another letter again as a reminder, there's still all this out in the yard, and go from there. But we did receive a written complaint from one of the neighbors. So, that's how I have a code enforcement. Can I go into animal control yet?
Yeah.
Animal control, we have somebody with 5 dogs. They were not happy when they received a letter from the city. They will be sent a conditional use permit, because that is a process where if they choose to keep all 5 of them, I understand one is a very elderly dog. If they choose to keep all 5, then they will need to come before council. That is yet to be on that one. Have been getting a lot of calls lately about, let's see, I'm just going to give you a brief overview of some of the complaints I've been receiving. Walking dogs without leashes, especially in the Winterberry Circle area, in that newest section. I haven't seen it personally, but I did have somebody call me one day and said it happens frequently. Dogs in yards that run out at others, that are walking their dogs on leashes, that a dog will run out in the street at somebody's dog that is on a leash. So I would just remind, you can keep your dog in your yard without a leash on it. That's fine, as long as it's in your property. But once it runs out into the road, at somebody walking or somebody with another dog, then that's the same as running at large. So I just try to remind people that we need leashes and, keep your dog in thing. The last complaint I got, and I got 2 of these complaints, really happy to see people use a walking trail with their dogs, but they're not cleaning up after themselves. Again, I have not seen this personally, but I did receive 2 phone calls from people saying they need to clean up. It's not being done. And that is in the ordinance as well. They need to clean up after their dogs. So, that's my report from Animal Control for the month.
Okay, ordinances, resolutions, Policy in motion. The first reading of ordinance number 259, supplemental appropriation ordinance. I believe that deals with the Palmyra parking lot at the park and the cost difference that we owe to, is that right, Tobias?
Yeah, it's just the remaining $15,000 that we have to pay to get it done. The city already paid $9,000 last year for this, so it's just getting the spending authority in place.
So, first reading, we need a motion? Okay. First reading of ordinance number 260, an amendment to the Crook zoning ordinance, and that's a storage unit change. And resolution 2020-0404, a resolution relinquishing